Where is my wallet? It's really clear that one of you in this room took my wallet. Someone here is a thief. Is it you? Feet off the table. Where's my wallet? Thieves! Now look, whoever comes up with my wallet, right, we'll go down to council. Otherwise, all of you are going to suffer from me, not the honor council, as if you are the thief. I'm going to leave this room. You have 2 minutes to get me my wallet back. You little monsters.
Alright, who did it? Wasn't me. Which means it has to be one of you.
Oh really? That's something a sticky bandit would say.
Look, I ain't no sticky bandit. I don't know why you're accusing me of stealing Mr. Hodgson's wallet, because I definitely didn't do that.
You guys cut it out. There's other ways to resolve this problem.
Like what?
What are we gonna do, you moron?
Well, we could just empty our pockets and find out who has the wallet.
Alright, fine. That's all I got, you fucking idiots. You have a wallet.
It's not Mr. Hutton's wallet, it's my wallet.
Oh. Alright, fine.
I only got my phone, and my other phone, and my chocolate milk. What about you, Mr. Purdue?
You know, my pockets are my own personal property. I'm not really comfortable with, emptying them and showing them to you guys. Just, you gotta trust that I don't
Sounds suspicious.
He done did it! Liar! Anarchy! Get over here!
Found the wallet. Sorry.
You can see how it's already powerful. You can see.
Sometimes you gotta go back to actually move forward. I don't mean go back to reminisce or chase ghosts. I mean go way back, like playing rec lacrosse before you can go D3. When people look at me, they usually notice my good looks or my shiny white car. I drove a Lincoln long before it was cool to drive a Lincoln. I just like it that my dad wouldn't buy me a BMW. I know people say you can't go back. Well, yes you can. Just have to look in the right place.
Howdy, partners! Eric Wooten,
Cameron Ludwig,
and James Seifert here for the GCS Gala Spring Auction brought to you by the Parents and Friends Association.
we've got a lot of quality merchandise here, and everything must go. Tired of parking your car in a nameless spot? We got private, primary, lower, middle, high school parking spots at bargain auction prices.
Want to be the new sheriff in town? You can be Woolly Hand for the day, venture for a half day, and more.
We got good eating. I'm talking lunch with middle school teachers, lunch with chicks. Giddy up. Hog tie some tickets and VIP seating. We have it all. We have front row seats for the graduation, luxury box theater seats in the Moats Theater, a special infield VIP package for the all-school relay, Dragon press box reservations for those big games, and much, much more.
Go now to www.glenhog.org and get your bid on. Everything must go. Check it out today. Yeehaw!
I started teaching in 1966. Technically, this is the 50th. The first one wasn't as official, but I started in 1966 teaching 8th graders that were 18 and 19 years old. Hi, my name is Tom Vassold. I teach math here at Glenelg Country School. I've been here for 12 years.
I'm just a simple African boy whose father and mother never went to school, who was compelled by the Belgian, I was born in a colony, which means the Belgian colonial compelled my father to send me to school, a school system that he did not believe in, a school system which came to destroy our culture, basically. And you're looking at the result of a long journey of basically being subjected to Western civilization, Western thought. Here I'm known as Doc.
I guess my biggest surprise is I'm still here and still at it. When I left college, had no idea what I wanted to do. And many of my friends from college were getting jobs teaching. I said, well, I'll do that. I'll get a job teaching until I find a real job. And here it is 50 years later, and I'm still at it. And that's been a surprise for me, I think.
What was your biggest surprise coming to the United States?
Oh my God, the number of cars like insects. I remember landing in New York City, looking at cars. You have as many cars as we have ants roaming our forest. And I asked myself, how do you get energy and money to make that many cars? The ants just reproduce themselves. They eat leaves. But you have to produce all these iron-derived or metal-derived things, and you produce them in such a large quantity, I can't even count them.
Get to know your teachers. Relax, talk with them, don't be afraid of them, be able to ask questions inside the classroom, outside the classroom. Students, if you have a problem, you need to go to your teacher first. That's your first step to solving any kind of problems, whether it's academic, social, or otherwise.
You don't know what you're going to do in life in reality. I never knew that I was going to come to America. I never even knew I was going to speak English. So what I will advise you to do is learn not for the school, learn for life. In other words, learn to think, learn to examine situation and examine and analyzing it and be critical of it and ask yourself honestly, is this real or is this an illusion? For in life, there's a reality and illusion. And most of the time, we live in the illusion.
More students I've encountered here at GCS are interested in a grade more so than learning things. They learn things for a test and then it's gone, and they want a good grade, and the knowledge is secondary. And that's a big change over what it used to be. That's a sad change, but it's the way it is.
When I came here, it was a very small school, and in fact, we spent most of our time in our office with a student debating whatever was in their mind. In fact, we did teach, but students came in our office to sit to discuss political, philosophical, religious, spiritual, historical fact. But now, teaching is now oriented to having basically good grade, a degree, a job. So I feel like that teaching now, it is for utilitarian purpose.
Which classroom would it be?
Integrative seminar. I would say that that topic is it's one of the best class, the best course at Glenelg Country School.
If you had to pick an integrative teacher, who would it be?
I don't even know who the integrative teachers.
There's Mr. Wade and Mr. Hudgens.
No, I find that I will not answer such a question. Those are the petty Western questions which result into...
I think right now I'd like to take photography. I see the work that MEMI students produce, and I would love to learn to do more of that kind of work.
The best, of course, is whenever I see students, you can see the intellectual energies coming out in the classroom. They're asking questions. In fact, I just had one today with Jake Duty. He derived an equation to calculate pH by using information we just had in class. That is the moment of joy and, a consternation. You've just taught him something. From there, he derives some other equation, and that is the moment, as a teacher, you always seek.
And I think if I were to stay here another 10 years and then leave, I would still miss the students. That has been the most fun part of my job for all these years, is working with students. The adults, some good, some bad, but I could do without working with many of the adults. Students are honest. They'll tell you how they feel. If you're doing something they like or the things they don't like, they'll let you know. And they bring their personal lives into the classroom on some occasions, and that's really nice, I think. For me, it's nice.
See, this is again another African way of living. We live the moment. Because we live the moment, you enjoy the moment. That's it. If the moment is plentiful, you're not going to miss it. So in other words, don't spend your time looking back or looking at the future. The moment, enjoy it completely. If you die the next second, you've already made it.
I'm going to miss bow tie Wednesdays. I have my bow ties, and I will rarely wear them on a Wednesday anymore after this. But it's been a fun thing. We started that in honor of Rod Chapman, because he would wear bow ties regularly, and I thought it would be a good tribute to him. And our students have picked up on it very well, and I will really miss that. Oh, wow. I have a freshman that I can pick on, Riley Martin.
Riley Martin?
Who started out the year in terrible condition, not doing his work, not interested, not doing well at anything. And by Christmas time, he had turned it around completely and is now an A student.
So how are you like Riley Martin, or how were you like?
Well, I started out the same way. School was not my first interest. I was interested in other things, playing sports and other activities, and that was my main focus. And after not too long a time working with some teachers, I didn't turn it around completely, but I became more focused on academics in addition to all the other things.
Were you always interested in math?
No. I was only interested in school for sports when I was in high school. Math was one of my easier subjects, so when I got to college, I decided to major in math. And my only reason for choosing that was that I didn't have to write any papers.
Do you have any Josh Dorsey gossip?
Josh Dorsey. No, not gossip so much. We talked last summer when he had the job offer to leave, and he and I spoke for a long while on the phone, and it was a hard decision for him just because leaving in the middle of summer was a tough one for him.
It was 2 or 3 days before I left to come to America. My friend Mubikai went to the river. We were swinging on a vine like Tarzan across the river, coming back and forth. And all of a sudden, when we came back on the other side, I saw a snake coiled up like a python. And my rule was, whenever I see a snake, it has to be dead. So I took a big stone, dropped it on a snake, immobilize it. Once it was immobilized, I cut off its head.
What is the worst part of Josh Dorsey?
That he's gone.
And I opened up the snake, and I was fascinated from that snake heart was beating 2 hours later. It was actually beating while I've cut off its head and I've opened it up. Yes. Yes. I can't do that here. It's probably, they will tell me for animal cruelty somehow here in America. Yes. But I have to say that for me, even today, I keep asking myself, why did a snake didn't die when I cut off its head immediately? Yes.
What is Josh Dorsey's worst quality?
Don't know. Don't know. He was great to work with, and great to have here in the department, and he was great with kids. And I miss him, but that's not a bad quality. You got to stick with them even when they're terrible, and we've gone through many of those. I attended my first Oriole game in 1954 when the Orioles moved to Baltimore, and they were awful. but we still went. We still went to games and enjoyed the games, and they had up years and down years. And if you stay with them under both conditions, it just becomes a treat.
I've been offered a number of things, but I'm not committing myself to anything. In fact, if anything, I'm dreaming to do what I was doing when I was 5 years old, when I was sent to school, which means roaming freely in Africa first. I've not been free for 3 years. And now I can just go and do whatever I want to do the day I feel like doing it and when I feel like doing it. And that is ecstatic.
I'm retiring. I'm going home. Spend time with my family and do some traveling, some projects around the house, play a little bit more golf, just loaf a little bit. I like to smoke a cigar now and then and have my little sip of scotch now and then. I do. I've checked a few things off. My most recent that I checked off was to go skydiving. That was near the top of my list, and 2 years ago, I did that down in North Carolina. We went up to 12,000 feet and jumped out of an airplane, which sounds really crazy, but it was wonderful, and I'll do it again whenever the opportunity presents itself. I want to go parasailing. I haven't done that one yet, and that's going to happen one of these days. On my bucket list, one item was to sing the national anthem at an Orioles game at Camden Yards, and I've been there, I think, 7 times now to do that, and the last 5 of which we sang both the Canadian and United States national anthems.
But human existence is really meaningful while you're still alive. That's it. It's what you choose to do every day. That's the meaning of your existence.
We visit you in Africa.
Please, I'm not going to Africa to. I'm going to Africa to build a bridge between the United States and Africa, because my purpose to come here was to know enough about the United States so that I can create a bridge between the United States and Africa. You folks, you're going to come visit me in Zambia, in Africa. I'm going to get students to come. I'll bring maybe some Zambian student here. And I sense that the student body here, just by the involvement in Ghana, in Kenya, now in Uganda, in Pakistan, in India, I just feel like that this generation, we the older one, need to catalyze the reaction where they can meet and know each other.
What will you do on your last day of class?
Oh, nothing. I'll be teaching just like if it was a normal day. Because after all, the last day or the first day or the middle day, it's still the same day. It's just, you just live every day the same way. You'll be surprised how much you're going to accomplish.